Howie Roseman is out here making calls, trying to make this team better and get a safety. Also, we will see Julio Jones and that Kelly Green today. And we got a Rashad Penny update. Yes, there's a Rashad Penny update and the Eagles' plans of what they're going to do with Rashad Penny. But let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into the topics, I've been hearing all week of how scary the Dolphins are. They very scary. Look at their offense. Look what they can do. Here go the opponents they played. Here go the opponents they played. Carolina, they beat. Giants, they beat. Buffalo lost. Denver, they beat. New England, they beat. You know what all those teams have in common? They all won one game. And not to even deceive you guys, the first game they played was against the Chargers, and they won what, 36-34? Telling you, man, this team is not as scary as people think. They're not as scary as people think. Now, that's what's gonna make the matchup more interesting because basically we're gonna find out who's technically the frauds. If we beat the Dolphins, there are gonna be questions like, well, look at the opponents they played. Same thing for us. If we lose, there is going to be questions. So we have to get a solidified win against this team. We have to. I believe we could beat them. And not only in the Kelly Greens, we can beat them, but look at the field. Look at the field. I mean, come on. The Eagles are showing out for this Sunday night game. We cannot lose on that legendary field and that Kelly Green and to a possible fraud team. Not saying they frauds, it's a possibility because when they played real competition and the Buffalo Bills, they lost 48-20. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. The Dolphins, I give it up. They got an explosive offense, but they can be beaten, and yes, they can be scored on. Trust me. All right, so let's get into the topics. So Julio Jones and Mekhi Gardner. I actually predicted this in my last video. I'm like, if they're going to bring up anybody from the practice squad, it's going to be Mekhi Gardner and Julio Jones because not only with Mekhi Gardner, you're getting a cornerback, you're also getting a safety who played decent against the Jets. He played good when his number was called. He was decent. You know, Zach Wilson's not the best passer or the best guy to evaluate against, but he did his job. So I like him as a backup than picking up any other corner because even the Mario Goodrich, he's a slot corner. The corner we just signed from Chicago, slot corner. Mekhi Gardner is a hybrid, so you can work with that. And Julio Jones, he's our wide receiver 4. I mean, I don't trust Covey. I don't trust Devin Allen to be that wide receiver 4. Hell, Julio Jones might be the wide receiver 3. I wouldn't be surprised if Julio Jones come in as wide receiver 3. Julio Jones is a veteran. I'm pretty sure he can get a playbook down packed of what he needs to do really, really quick. I don't think there's an offense he never seen before. So, yes, it's good that Julio Jones get to play. And it's good that we get to see him in the Kelly Green, man. Shout out to those two guys. I think the Eagles made the right choice by elevating those two guys, especially for the needs of the team. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes. The Eagles have been working the phones at the trade deadline and is looking for help in the secondary, mainly at safety. Shout out to JPA football. I'm happy about this. I'm very, very happy about this, that legitimate reports are out there that Howie Roseman is still working those phones, still looking for a safety, still looking for that big splash play. Also, I heard there was teams calling about Kevin Byard, and this is the report that is out there. So Kevin Byard and Treylon Burks is out there. Of course, we're not calling about Treylon Burks, but specifically they received multiple calls about Byard. I'm not too sure if that was the Eagles or not, but if I had to put my last dollar on it, I'm pretty sure the Eagles made a call and it said one team reached out about Burks. who was drafted in the first round in 2022 last year. So, and they also said they don't see Burks being moved, but Byard, he can't be moved. He's the older guy. He's a safety that we need, and I believe we will be willing to give up capital for him. I actually believe over Buda Baker, over Justin Simmons, I believe Byard will actually be the better fit for the scheme because the way he cover and money wise, I believe he's only like a $4 or $5 million cap hit if we get him because he has no money guaranteed and his contract was restructured. Whereas though you've seen Buda Baker get a big payday, Justin Simmons getting paid handsomely, very, very well. So I believe Byard money wise and the way he played will be the better fit. But speaking of Buda Baker, I'm hearing that he's going to play. And then you have Josh Talentino tweeting stuff out like this with the Batman gif, like, there's a lot of Eagles reporters out there, like, oh, Buda Baker is playing. And remember, when we signed Julio Jones, a lot of the reporters were saying it's more to come. It's more to come. So is it going to be Buda Baker? Is it going to be Byard? We will see. It will be interesting if we need the Seahawks to win. We need the Seahawks to win because now if the Seahawks win and then if the Seahawks beat them down, Cardinals got to say like, look, we only won one game. Let's start offloading people and let's rebuild this thing. Now, if the Cardinals win, they might be like, well, we're going to hold on to Buda Baker, see how far we can go because the NFC, anybody could get that last place spot. I'm telling you, anybody could get that last place spot in the NFC. So again, if the Seahawks win, they might really question keeping some of the talent or not. And Buda Baker might be one of those guys they want off their books. And maybe they go through the draft and try to get somebody else. But yeah, man, there's a lot of reports. Buda Baker, Eagles, we know that been happening since the offseason. I don't know. I hope we get him. I hope we'll be able to get him or get somebody. We need an extra safety. Just one extra safety, especially with Justin Evans about to miss the next couple games. Look, I would love him here. Even Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin is not technically off the table. We could trade for him. Hell, we could even leverage that he's hurt and give Panthers basically nothing for him because he's hurt and just have him for the latter season, in my opinion. But I doubt if Howie wants to do that. He probably want a guy that's ready now. So it's probably between Byard, Simmons, and Buda Baker. And to me, Byard would be the better of the three, in my opinion. So yeah, man, again, it's really, really good to hear Howie working on phones. All right, speaking of Howie Roseman and plans, I'm hearing there's a plan out there for Rashad Penny. So Eagles are staying put with Rashad Penny and believe he will serve as a solid depth down the stretch. That's good to hear that we're not giving up on Rashad Penny. But I know Rashad Penny's like, man, look, I want to play. I believe this report. I do. Unless the Eagles have to give him up for a safety, then I believe they will. But if they don't have to, I could see Rashad Penny working himself in like week 13 or something like that. Because that's around the time where, to me, everybody's hurt in a way. And Rashad Penny can just be that guy that can step in. He the guy with the fresh legs and ready to go. I know a lot of people like Rashad Penny. Hell, people think Rashad Penny is RB2 now. But in my opinion, what I've seen in the preseason or even when he got his opportunity to play, I believe that was against the Vikings. He didn't look that explosive to me, in my opinion. But he's still a solid running back. He's still solid. He's not the same Rashad Penny coming out the first round to Seattle. Again, he's still a solid dude. And I believe this is true. I believe this is true unless they be like, look, we want Rashad Penny. We need a running back. Send him over and we get a safety. That's the only way. Like a Tennessee Titans, like they looking to offload Derrick Henry. Maybe they want somebody in the building. Maybe they want Rashad Penny in the pick for Kevin Byard. Will we do it? Probably. So again, it's good that we had plans for him because for him just to basically technically always inactive, it's just a waste of a spot. It's a waste of a 53-man roster spot for somebody else, like a Julio Jones or something. So we got to plan something for Rashad Penny because there's a lot of questions on why we not using him. He's still solid. He's explosive. Use him, use him, use him, and the Eagles are not using him. Send him somewhere where he can be used and open up a spot for somebody. A lot of these dudes ain't gonna be hurt for too long. Reed Blankenship ain't gonna be hurt for too long. Bradley Roby not gonna be hurt for too long. Justin Evans not gonna be hurt for too long. So might as well do something with him, right? But hey man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? Just wanted to, give y'all an early morning one before tonight is tonight. Tonight is tonight. We play the Dolphins. I'm really thinking about going live. Don't hold me to it. I'm thinking about it. We will see how the day go. See what time my kids go to sleep. Then I just like, man, forget it. We're gonna go live. We're gonna talk. Even if it's after the game. If it's after the game, I'm for sure probably can go live. But during the game, we will see. I'll try play by play. We will see, man. We will see how the day go. But this is Eagle Al, man. I'm out.